Hey everyone, this is Spoolfool. Haven't done a video in a while. Figured I'd do one. Couple things I wanted to talk about. First of all, I just got back from Bowling Green. Had a great time. Everyone I met there, just everyone had a good time. Every vendor I know that brought stuff, I think just about sold out of everything. It's just everybody was hungry. Everybody was hungry for an event. Everybody was hungry for the cars, the people, and I think that was a good sign. That was very positive for the Buick community, and I think everyone left there wanting more, and that was a good thing. The reason I really wanted to do this video, there's been a lot of talk on these valve covers that I came up with, a lot of discussion, and I wanted to continue the discussion, not necessarily just for the valve covers, but just in general, people coming out with stuff. And do we want this kind of product? Is it overvalued, undervalued? Should anyone even be doing it, or should we just let China handle it all? And first of all, I don't want to bash on China stuff. There's companies that have put a lot of time and millions of dollars into making Chinese parts, and I'll tell you what, God bless them, because there's no one else doing it, and if we didn't have them doing it, these cars wouldn't be around. So I don't have a problem with that. My question is there a market left for American-made parts? And as some of you know, that's kind of the market that I've been going after. And it's if you've been around these cars a long time, it used to be 90% of the stuff was made in the USA. I mean, I remember back my Kenny Bell or Poston's catalog, and you just go through it, and that's just the way it was. And you know, but now it doesn't seem to be the way, and it's sort of a dying breed of people that are wanting to risk the time, the investment into making something where either they're not going to get knocked off, or they're going to get ridiculed, or people are going to say it's overpriced, or it's just not, for whatever reason, it's not worth doing. And I've noticed over the years, the decades, there's less and less people willing to take that risk for whatever reasons, and we can talk about that. But it makes me sad, because we're a country of innovators and just people that have come up with some of the greatest things, and I think these cars deserve to have new ideas, fresh ideas. And the valve cover, I'm going to talk about the valve cover, but this video really isn't about the valve cover as much as it is what it represents. And I did this valve cover. First of all, I'm on my wiggly table here, so it may be a little shaky. You may also have to turn the volume up. I had never seen a decent set in all the decades these cars have been out. I've never seen a set of production, decent made sheet metal valve covers that fit. And I figured I can do this. And I was a little slow and decided to just go after it. As most of you know, I do all of my R&D myself, so it's just time, and I enjoy it. And so I problem solved. I've got, I don't know, 150 hours, plane going overhead here, into the R&D of what I feel is a very nice piece that came out. I believe the engineering and R&D is second to none on these. I tried to do, you know, my little logo on the breather and little logo stamp there, 3/8 flange. This is machined perfectly flat, so you put them up together, you see through them, you don't see daylight. You can use a Cometic you can use any gasket on these. Relieve for a little bigger push rods. When they go on the car, the breather goes straight up, so everything drains back in. I put them between the rocker arms, so I've even run the car without the breather or the standoff on here, and it doesn't splash out just because of how it's engineered, designed. I've got this end really low behind the air conditioning, so you can get the bolt in as good as you're going to get one in. The way I've tapered this, it fits over the highest rocker arms, the Jezel pedestal mount with the shims, and it fits as tight as you're going to get it, I feel. And the way that taper, you can get to the head bolts on the back. This gets in and out with the air conditioning easier than any other one that I've seen, even the stock ones. So I feel I really hit a home run. This is something I'm really proud of. I did it all myself. I didn't do everything, but the design, the engineer. Obviously, I can't weld like this. I had pieces manufactured. Every aspect of it. And this is one of the things I wanted to try and do. Is can I? And this was one of the hardest things. Make a product like this 100% out of domestic materials, including fasteners, I mean even the bungs, the standoffs, domestic aluminum, everything 100%, and I did it. I mean, I go down the line, the breathers, I had a place in California making, I machined these. The bungs, those are actually cheap. I had them made for $2 a piece. The Chinese ones were 12. So you never know. You know, you got it. There's some deals out there if you can problem solve in your head and you can work around things. But I thought I could make these for about, they were going to cost me about $200, $250 a set to make. That doesn't include R&D. I pushed that off a cliff. That doesn't include a lot of the one-time costs. I'm just, you know, materials, welding, fasteners, everything, and, you know, time fluffing and buffing with my guys at the shop was what I pay them, just kind of breaking even. And it went way overboard than what I thought. You know, I thought welder, he first quoted me $25 a piece, and then he realized these are an hour a piece to weld. He's a $100 an hour guy, but he gave them to me for $75 each to weld, and I've got my list of all my costs, and it ended up costing me, I figured, somewhere between about $500 and $600 a set to make. Now, did I need to spend $3.30 a piece for ARP 12-point stainless fasteners when I could have got Chinese ones for 28 cents? Probably not. But what I wanted to do was 100% made in USA and just see where the numbers worked out, and that's what I did. So with that, I'm into these probably $500, $600, realizing I went over budget, and I decided to go ahead and finish the project. The project was probably 45 sets of these so I could get the numbers down. There were a lot of one-time costs for tooling, for bending things and stamping logos. So with those included, it probably cost me $500, $600 a set to make. If I did a second run, now that I don't include all the one-time costs and I figured out how to streamline a lot of things, I think I can get it down to about $400 a set. These are hard costs, checks written. This doesn't include a lot of my time. This is just down and dirty, you know, like this. The question is, what do I sell them for? Is there a market for them? And I'm saying this because this revolves around other parts also, and hopefully I want to open up discussion in this. I don't, you know, that's great, the breathers, and yes, they either fly or they don't or whatever, but I want to see discussion moving forward, other people that want to do stuff, and there's still, we've got some innovators, and I know they're going to be watching, and I welcome comments, and I'd like to see where this goes and the thoughts of what to do with not only this project but other ones like it, and people that have ideas but don't think it'll go. I've had people tell me, well, yeah, that's easy, just send it to China. Well, yeah, I could do that, but it's not going to be what it is. And part of that is the quality. Part of that is, I mean, there have been people that have made sheet metal valve covers, and I'm not going to go into details, but you can ask around the people that have bought them. No, it's not going to be like this. It's not going to seal on Cominix gaskets, the holes aren't, you know, it's not going to be as good. And maybe that's the way it needs to happen. I don't know. One thing I'm going to do here, before I bore you to death on my valve cover, if we don't learn anything today on valve covers, I want to at least learn one thing. How I pour a beer. So at least if we don't learn something, we can get some entertainment value here, because I know there's going to be probably more discussion on this damn beer than there is on the valve cover of why you pour a beer like this, why I pour the beer wrong. Keep in mind I am German, that's a German beer, so we can talk about that in a second. What do we want? Is there a market for made in the USA stuff, or do we just want it all to go away? What is overpriced? Why? What was funny, you know, I made up a set of 45. I knew I went over budget, so I decided, well, rather than to make the numbers work, I'd have to sell them for like 900, or, you know, at $500, $600 a piece. Even at $400 a piece it cost me, I'd have to sell these for, you know, $900 a piece. And I figured, well, we're going to Bowling Green, and Boost Crew, they're good buddies of mine, they sell my products. Little plug there. I said, well, let's put a set out for sale. Let's put them at $900 for the first day. Let's just see what kind of interest there is. 25 people looked at them, picked them up, slobbered all over them. I answered all the questions, spent a lot of time. Hey, they loved them until you said $900. Walked away. Next day, we went $800. Okay, let's see what the price is. What is a fair market price on these? $800. Probably 20 people looked at them. I answered all the same questions, told them all the details, made in USA fits, air conditioning, limited run. I told everyone I'll probably never do another set of these again. Nobody. Crickets. Nobody wanted it. 800. Last day there. 700 bucks a set. Let's see. Probably had 15 people look at them. Same spiel. Nobody bought them. Finally, at the end of the day, one guy says, all right, I'm going to buy these. He took them, waffled them off for 1,500 bucks. I had no, okay, for the record, I had nothing to do with that, but I was definitely a fly on the wall. It was kind of interesting. And we can throw that in the discussion too. So what are they worth? Are they worth 1,500 bucks? And there was a line of people, and personally, I think that was more entertainment value than anything. I think a lot of people joined in on that just because it was a party shit show, and they wanted to be, I don't know. But at Bowling Green, it seemed, I got the feeling of like when you go to the beach and no one's going in the water, and people are thinking, are there sharks? How come no one's getting in the water? I don't want to be the first one. You know, maybe there's sharks out there. Maybe that's some of it. I don't know. I'm not going to claim to know this market, and that's why I'm putting this out there for us to understand. What is overvalued? People have said me selling for 700 or 750. That's completely overpriced. Well, if I'm paying 600 for them, then that means there's not a market for them. If I'm paying 400 and selling for 8, I don't know. Who determines what is overvalued and what is undervalued? I guess if they sell, it wasn't undervalued. If they don't, if they don't sell, it was overpriced. If they, you know, and vice versa. If they don't sell, well, it was too much. So being last time I checked, this was a free market economy, and that's the American way. But anyways, that was it. I'm open for suggestions, how to either streamline, do something different. I know one of the things people are going to say is, well, let's do a KD kit, you know, kind of a knockdown, sell components. And I thought about that too. But a big problem on the welding, man, this welding's not, and there's a lot of things warp and you have to jig them up, and there's a lot to it. It's easier, there was a huge learning curve, and we went through quite a few sets of these before we got them. So the 3/8 thick flange didn't warp that much, and we had to pin them down and put some Kentucky windage, so when we welded them, they'd go back, so we'd only have to grind off about a 1/16. It's not easy. There's certain aspects you have to do with the tubes first, and you have to custom make a jig. There's a lot to it. So I know people are going to recommend we'll just sell components and I can weld that up. It's not that easy. It looks easy, but it's not. But there's my logo. I'm pretty proud of that logo. It cost me 500 bucks for the die on that, but it's kind of cool. Now to the important stuff. Why I pour my beer like this: it off gases, it changes the flavor. And if you don't believe me, everyone out there, I want you to find your favorite beer, maybe a beer you don't like, pour it like I just did 5 minutes ago, and then taste between the two. You're going to find this tastes like tap beer, this tastes like canned beer. This tastes a lot smoother. Twice as smooth. Some people like that aluminum taste. Completely changes the flavor of your beer. So anyways, take the beer you've been drinking your entire life for a long time, or maybe one you hated, pour it like I just did, as big of a head you can put on it, and you may find a new beer you like, or you might find a beer you already like that you like it even more. Anyways, that's my Spoolfool challenge on the side note. So if my valve cover video is a complete flop, maybe we can change the discussion to beer. I think that was pretty much it. It's not a whine, it's not a rant, it's not a whatever. It's this is where I'm at, and if we can learn from it and move forward, I think we'll be stronger as a Buick community. And it pretty much goes on to, what do we want? You know, do we want to have innovators? Do we want to have people trying new stuff? And I hope we do, because I think that's going to keep us strong, and it's fun, and it's been a success. I thank all the people that have bought my bumper fillers. I know it's the most expensive bumper filler out there, but I feel it's also the best, and I'm not making money hand over fist, neither are my vendors. They're very low profit margins, and that has been the key to how sales have been so high, is I didn't get greedy on it. So, but on these, I guess I'm getting too greedy. You can't make a valve cover for 600 and sell it for 700. That's too greedy, because of the market. Everybody knows a valve cover is not $700 or $500. It's $200. That's what you pay, and everybody has it in their mind. Well, what about the other products? You know, are we open to that? Anyways, I'm rambling on here. So at that point in time, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I'm probably going to post this on turbobuick.com, because it's probably where it gets the most respected coverage and people are going to comment on it. Looks like I kept this video right at 15 minutes. So that is that. Thank you for all the people that buy my products, help me out, and all the, just thanks for everyone. And let's keep this thing going and keep it positive, and let's have some fun with it. And got the fun meter on high here, so keep it rolling, and we'll see you next time.